with a new topic. Today's topic is ever since I played Silent Hill 2, the remake, I actually had a roaming question inside of my head. And since the world of Silent Hill is full of speculations and questions, I would like to ask today's question, which is, would have James ended up in Silent Hill if he didn't kill Mary? The short answer is no. Especially since we get the letter from Mary telling him to come back to Silent Hill so she can meet him after he knows that she is dead. And since we know that Mary's body is inside of James's car, we understand that one of the endings actually allude to the only reasoning James going to Silent Hill was because he killed his wife. The long answer? It's one hell of a ride. For us to understand and to grasp the whole concept of why James would have ended up in Silent Hill if wasn't the major reason as killing Mary, we need to understand what is exactly Silent Hill. A lot of people speculate and even argue that Silent Hill is an existing place inside of a country, though I could see why they say that, especially since we played Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2. We see that they do truly have a memory or a recallance of this place, and I do believe Silent Hill is an existing place, but that's where it ends. For me, I have an understanding, and I'm pretty sure others too have understanding, that Silent Hill could be an existing place, but that's not what James, Harry, Heather, Henry, or even Hanako go through. In Silent Hill 1, we see Harry going to the destination of Silent Hill with his daughter inside of the car. Well, he hits something and he gets into a car accident. And all of a sudden, he is in a foggy town. And it doesn't seem real. The way the town is bordered off, it's like there is something that needs to be pursued. Or to be exact, a mental journey that needs to be taken. And we go through it. And yes, I know Silent Hill 1 is about a cult, but that's the thing. The monsters don't look like something that a cult would accumulate. And the thing is, I believe that the cult actually feasted on Harry's fears. I do see how this could be a situation where you might think Silent Hill is existing. The cult is existing. But that's the thing. I believe it is a glorified recalling. It's like he embodied or had a process, and that process went through his head, and he was so horrified with the situation, and that's exactly how Harry ended up in the mindset of Silent Hill. In Silent Hill 2, James received a message, and that message, or a letter to be exact, tells him to go to Silent Hill. And that's the thing, it was signed by Mary. He does go to Silent Hill, but that's the thing. Mary is in his car. The dead body of Mary is inside of his car. So, Silent Hill is not an existing place. It's actually a recalling. Silent Hill 3, Heather is a teenager girl who is going through life. And not only she is going through womanhood, she has a detective stalker, then she discovers that her father, Harry, died. Then she goes to Silent Hill to fight off the cult. But the monsters for Heather are quite interesting. It reflects on what she feels. It reflects on her fear. And to be exact, I don't recall that we ever saw amusement park inside of Silent Hill. And I'm pretty sure the existence of the amusement park is because Heather is a teenage girl. It's where usually teenagers at that time hang out. And when we start the whole game, you have this special feeling, summer feeling. It is summer from the perspective of a teenager. And then things goes down to Heather. So she does go to the destination of Silent Hill, but Silent Hill isn't exactly Silent Hill. Now for the deal breaker. Silent Hill 4. Silent Hill 4 is actually from the perspective of Walter. So Henry had nothing to do with how did he end up in Silent Hill. And that's the thing. Silent Hill was inside of a room. Henry was stuck in a room and he ended up going through the bathroom walls to end up in what we call Silent Hill. It wasn't a physical place. It wasn't a destination. It was what Walter recalls from Silent Hill. And we all recall what Walter is, or what exactly happened to Walter. At the moment, I think, or I believe, that actually Henry was caught in the middle of Walter's situation. And it's quite interesting to see how this is also pursued. Silent Hill F is actually the greatest example of how the Silent Hill world does exist. It's not real. Hanako's in Japan. It's not inside of Silent Hill. She's not going to the destination of Silent Hill. And I saw a lot of people argue that Silent Hill F isn't actually a Silent Hill. To that I say, excuse me? Silent Hill F had everything that makes a Silent Hill game a Silent Hill game, especially how Hinako is dealing with stuff and how is she pursuing it. The thing is, Silent Hill is a non-existing place. It is an existing world, but not an existing place. It's not something physical. It's actually an embodiment of fear or recalling. It's actually what you're going through. It's what James was going through, or what it is Harry going through, Heather. So Silent Hill is actually an embodiment of what you have been subjected to. So I believe James has his own reasonings to enter Silent Hill. And the death of Mary was the hugest reason for him to be there, but it wasn't the primary reason he was there. You might ask, how do I know, or what is the reasoning for me to say such thing? It's actually through seeing Pyramid Head meeting up Angela, Eddie, and their little girl, and understanding why the monsters of Silent Hill look like that for James. James was actually mentally ill, and he actually was administered the McLean Hospital on multiple occasions, either from depression or addiction. James was truly struggling from his inner self. Also, he was struggling with caregiver fatigue. And a lot of people would say, yeah, he was struggling with caregiver fatigue and he was mentally ill. That is why he killed Mary. Well, it might be a reasoning for him to kill Mary, but I believe if James was a little bit more patient, or a little bit less eager, he wouldn't have killed Mary. I believe James thought he can take her out of her misery. I believe James actually didn't want to kill his wife, that he pure pressured himself to do it. And yes, it could be the reasoning why he entered Silent Hill. But I believe if Mary died either way, James would still end up at Silent Hill. The letter that Mary wrote for James would still end up inside of his hands. And if the whole Silent Hill situation was about Mary's killing, or to be exact, the whole situation about him killing Mary, monsters of Silent Hill would look different. I believe James wouldn't have met Angela or Eddie or even saw Pyramid Head inside of Silent Hill if the whole situation was about him killing Mary. And we know why he met these people, or why he saw Pyramid Head. He met Angela or Eddie, to be exact, because they were drawn to Silent Hill. And find it interesting what Angela said after we discover how she was tormented by her father, which actually adds to what I said before, that Silent Hill is not truly an existing place. The perspective of Angela's world is way differenter from James. James's world is foggy. Angela's world is enraged and on fire. She is a casualty. She went through the hardest thing that she could ever go through, and yet she ended up at Silent Hill. Actually, it's not because she killed her father. I believe it's because what her father did. Also, we see Eddie. Eddie actually ended up in Silent Hill for killing multiple people on multiple occasions because he has one hell of an ego. He and Angela's perspective are quite the polar opposites. He is inside of Silent Hill because of what he did, and Angela ended up inside of Silent Hill. It's because of what she went through. The little kid is there just to remind James of what he did, or to be exact, what he think he did to Mary. Because I don't believe James thought he only murdered his wife. Because, as we see, the monsters of Silent Hill are very heavily graphic to what James needs. And that is where James cheating or going off with a nurse or going to satisfy his needs because his wife is sick and he cannot satisfy it with his wife comes in. James ended up at Silent Hill because he couldn't stop needing. And he knows that needing can be put aside. And I also believe James ended up at Silent Hill because he antagonized Mary. Or he antagonized what Mary was. To be exact, when we see Maria, we see a youthful girl who is actually up getting sick gameplay. And Maria is a whole non-existing character. She is only there to show as the antagonization of how James hated what happened to Mary. He hated the sickness. He hated that Mary was an ill woman now, and he hated that his needs are no longer satisfied by the person who he thought is going to be the love of his life. And here where it comes. The reflection of James. What is he truly on about through Silent Hill? We see that James was inside of Silent Hill just to meet up again with Mary. So, Mary is dead, and James could have ended up at Silent Hill either way because of the existing letter. And I also wanted to add something that is quite interesting. That Angela's existence is for reflection of what happened, and Eddie's existence is for literally just calling out the murder that James did. The little girl exists there just to give in the letter, and Pyramid Head is to show how James was brutally and disgustingly judgy on others. While he thought he was on his high horse, taking care of his wife and being the kindest individual, only to pursue his needs in secret, because he was a greedy person. So, actually, I believe James would have ended up at Silent Hill either way. The death of Mary or the murder of Mary was really one thing that heavily contributed on him ending up at Silent Hill. Yes, but if Mary died without James killing her, it would have been different. Though a lot of people would pinpoint how after James see the record of him murdering his wife, he can no longer look at us and he cannot stand to look at us because of guilt. I believe if James watched the same video of his wife dying, he would feel the same way. Because James did neglect his wife, and he didn't spend the last days with her. And when he finally did spend the last days with her, he ended up murdering her. If James in some way didn't, spend the last day with Mary, I believe he would still have the same reaction. Or, to be exact, because mentally, James is unwell. So, I would like to say, James actually didn't end up in Silent Hill for what he did, but he ended up at Silent Hill to what he subjected himself to do. And there is a great example for that. The monsters, they are heavily graphic, and Pyramid Head existing, actually. There's a good while where James, I believe, thought he was in the right, and he did nothing wrong, and him, taking his need is his right, and actually, I believe that's actually misogynistic thinking, because James is a man, and I believe Pyramid Head reflects on what that is. And him killing Eddie is actually thinking that, oh, I did the right thing for killing Eddie because Eddie is a bad human being who ends up murdering people. That what he thinks is taking justice with his own hands. And when he leaves Angela to go through the fire, it actually shows that James could have reflective moments, but these reflective moments are just there to link how James would have ended up in Silent Hill. So I believe either way he would have ended in Silent Hill, it's still ambiguous. And I believe if they could pull off the movie that is gonna come out very soon, The Return to Silent Hill, it could explain a lot, and it could tell us a lot about how James would have ended up in Silent Hill without killing his wife. So that's all for today's video, and I fixed him. Say hello.